Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Crochet for Baby. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this little vest for little girls between 3 and 4 years old. Now you can also make it smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave you some information on how you can make it smaller from a baby between 1 and 2 years old or bigger up to 8 years old, so be sure to check that out. Also, in another tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and do the same little vest, but I'm going to go ahead and add sleeves so that we can turn this into a nice little cardigan sweater, so be sure to stay tuned. Now, also at the end of the tutorial, you'll see a little box. Make sure to click on that if you want to see all of my tutorials in English, since my channel is bilingual. All of my tutorials are always in English and Spanish, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so I hope you like it, and without further ado, let's get started, and thank you for watching. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this medium number 4 yarn. This is the same yarn that I showed you in my last yarn haul. I'm going to use both of these colors. I love this yarn, metallic. This is in the color Coral Sparkle. It's a medium number 4 yarn. Okay, to begin, I have 50 chains. This chain here is measuring about 32 centimeters, which is about 12.5 inches. Now, the stitch multiple to our base chain is multiples of 4 plus 2. Now, to begin into the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook into the third chain, grab a loop, close. Now these 2 chains here at the beginning counts as your first half double crochet. So I have 2, into the next, make another half double crochet, into the next, same thing. This is all I'm going to do for this first row. We're just going to make 1 half double crochet on each one of the chains. So continue like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we did half double crochets, and I have a total of 49 half double crochets, including the 2 chains here at the beginning. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. These 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this row, we're going to make 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th stitch, make 2 double crochets. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, into the next, that's 2, 3 double crochets, and into the 4th stitch, 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. This is how you're going to continue for this second row. You're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to make 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and into this 4th stitch, 2 double crochets. At the end of this second row, you're going to have 59 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 59 double crochets. Here at the end, we're always going to finish with these last 4 double crochets. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. The 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this third row, what we're going to do is we're going to make 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next stitch we're going to make 2 double crochets. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, and into the next 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. This is all you're going to do for this third row. You're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to make 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this third row, you're going to have 70 double crochets. So continue, and I'll meet you here at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 70 double crochets. Now for the 4th row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Remember that 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this row, we're going to make 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets. Let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, into the next, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets into the same stitch, 1 and 2. This is how you're going to continue for this 4th row. You're going to make 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this 4th row, you're going to have 81 double crochets. Continue, and I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. I have a total of 81 double crochets. Now for the 5th row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. In this row, we're going to make 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 2 double crochets. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets, and into the next 2 double crochets. This is how you're going to continue for this 5th row. You're just going to make 6 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the next 2 double crochets. At the end of this 5th row, you're going to have 92 double crochets. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have a total of 92 double crochets. Now for the 3rd row, chain 3 and turn. These 3 chains in this row count as your first double crochet. Now in this row, we're going to make V-stitches. To make your first V-stitch, we're going to skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd double crochet, this one here, you're going to make a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now, to make your next one, skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, make your V-stitch, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Again, skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, another V-stitch. This is how you're going to continue for this 6th row. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. I have a total of 30 V-stitches. Now to finish, here at the end, we're going to make a double crochet. Now for the 7th row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, what we're going to do is this first double crochet here, we're going to work a front post double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook like this, grab a loop, and close. Now inside the chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, make 2 chains, and then again 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now this next double crochet, make a front post double crochet, and this is all you're going to do for each one of the V-stitches. So again, front post double crochet, inside make 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet. And this is what it looks like. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this 7th row. Now to finish this row, we're just going to pinch the 2nd chain here at the end and make a double crochet. And this is how I finished this 7th row. Now for the 8th row, we're going to chain 3, turn. Now in this row, we're going to make V-stitches inside each one of these fans. So insert your hook into this first fan and do a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet, jump to the next one and do the same thing, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Continue like this for this 8th row, and I'll meet you at the end. That's what it looks like. I'm here at the end of this 8th row. To finish here, we're going to pinch the 2nd chain at the end and make a double crochet, and this is how I finished the 8th row with a total of 30 V-stitches. Now for the 9th row, chain 3 and turn. Now for this row, we're going to do the same thing we did for row 7. So the first double crochet we make into a front post double crochet. Inside the chain 2 space, you make a 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet. This is how you're going to continue for this 9th row, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I finished this 9th row. Here at the end, I just pinched the 2nd chain at the end and made one last double crochet. And this is how I finished this 9th row. Now, you should have a total of 30 fans all around. Now, in the next row, row 1, we're going to divide the sleeves. So for this next row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And skip 7 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, for the back, we're going to work a total of 8 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then again we're going to skip 7 fans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then finish with these last 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how we're going to divide the sleeves. So here, to begin this next row, we're going to go here, chain 3, turn, and we're going to do these 4 V-stitches. So inside this first fan, make a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet, same thing into the next one, same thing into the next one, and same thing into the next one. Now we have 4 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now what we're going to do into this same fan here, we're going to add 1 more V-stitch. So insert your hook again and make a double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now to divide the sleeve, you're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into this fan here, we're going to do the same thing we just did here. We're going to make 2 V-stitches. Double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet, then again, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Now, if you try this on your little girl and you feel like you need to add chains here under the sleeve, you can do so. You can just add, I don't know, 3 or 6 chains. So that way when we come back in the next row, you can add a V-stitch right in the center, maybe 1 or 2, and then you're going to add another fan or 2 once you do the next row of fans. So for me, the size that I'm working on right now, I think this is perfect. These fans here will be enough. Now to continue here, you're going to work these next 7 V-stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and into this same V-stitch here and into this same fan, you're going to do what we just did. 2 V-stitches here, skip 7 fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then into this fan, do the same thing we did here, 2 V-stitches, and then finish with these last 3 V-stitches. I will meet you at the end of this first row to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished this first row. This is where we divided the sleeves. Now you should have a total of 20 V-stitches. Here under the sleeve, this is what it should look like. You should have 2 V-stitches on this side and then 2 V-stitches on this side here, like this. And then the same thing here on this other side, 2 V-stitches, 2 V-stitches, and then like I said, you should have a total of 20 V-stitches. Now here at the end, all I did was just make a last double crochet here into the second chain. Now for the second row, chain 3 and turn. Now for this row, we're going to do the same thing we did here on these rows where we work this first double crochet of this V-stitch into a front post double crochet. Then you make 2 double crochets inside the chain 2 space, then 2 chains, and then 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet, and so on. This is how you're going to work each one of the V-stitches, so continue for this second row, and I'll meet you here at the end. Okay, I'm here at the end of this second row. I have a total of 20 fans. Now to finish this row, we're just going to pinch the second chain here and make a double crochet. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Here in this row, we're going to work this row of V-stitches. So beginning on top of this first fan, make a V-stitch, double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet, same thing into the next one, and here we're going to work these, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V-stitches. Then I'll meet you right about here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, finish making these 5 V-stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right here, right under the sleeve. Into this space between this fan and this fan right there, we're going to make a V-stitch. Here we're going to increase a V-stitch. So that's double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. You're going to do the same thing for the other side, and you're just going to continue working V-stitches for the back side. When you come here under the sleeve for this other side, same thing, add a V-stitch here and then finish. At the end of this third row, you should have 22 V-stitches. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 22 V-stitches. Now to finish, we're going to pinch the second chain here at the end and make a double crochet. Now for the fourth row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. In this row, we're going to repeat the row of fans. So beginning into this first double crochet of this V-stitch, we're going to work a front post double crochet. Inside the chain 2 space, make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet. This is how you're going to work each one of these V-stitches, so continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this fourth row. Okay, I'm here at the end of this fourth row. This is where we did fans, and I have a total of 22 fans. Now to finish this row, we're just going to pinch here the second chain and make a double crochet. Now for the fifth row, chain 3 and turn. Now for this row, we're going to repeat the row of V-stitches, and we're going to increase 1 V-stitch here. So into this fan, right in the center, under the sleeve, you're going to make 2 V-stitches. So let me show you. Beginning into this first fan, you're going to make your first V-stitch. Double crochet, 2 chains, double crochet. Same thing into the next one. That's 2. 3. 4. 5 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into this 6th fan, which is the one right in the center under the sleeve, you're going to make 2 V-stitches. This is going to be the last row where we increase. So this is what you're going to do here. 2 V-stitches, 1 and 2, and then continue for the back side. When you come here to this fan under the, right here under the sleeve, this middle fan, you're going to do the same thing, 2 V-stitches, and then finish this row. At the end of this 5th row, you should have 24 V-stitches. I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at the end of this 5th row. I have a total of 24 V-stitches. Here under the sleeve, we added an extra V-stitch on this side and here on this other side. So you should have a total of 24 V-stitches for this row. From here on, we're always going to have 24 V-stitches and 24 fans. And we're always going to repeat these 2 rows. Now for the next row, row 6, now before that, we're going to finish here by making 1 last double crochet into the second chain here at the end. Now for the 6th row, you're going to chain 3 and turn. In this row, you're going to repeat the row of fans. So beginning here, this first double crochet, we're going to work a front post double crochet. Inside the chain 2 space, you're going to make 2 double crochets, 2 chains, 2 double crochets, and then front post double crochet. This is how you're going to work each one of the V-stitches. At the end of this row, you're going to finish in the same way we finished the V-stitch row. You're going to make a double crochet here at the end, then chain 3, and then repeat the row of V-stitches. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Remember that at the end of every row, either the fan row or the V-stitch row, you're always going to end with 24 V-stitches or 24 fans. So continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I'm here at the end of the 14th row. So in total, I did 14 rows, and my last row here is this fan. Now it's measuring from the top of the neckline right here to the end. It's measuring about 14 inches, which is about 35.5 centimeters. Now, if you want to make this part here longer, you can. Just make sure that you end in a row where we do the fans. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to make single crochets along the edge here. So to do this, chain 1, and into this first double crochet right here, make 2 single crochets. Make sure that these single crochets are nice and loose. Now into the next space, make 1 single crochet. Into the next space or the next row where we have the double crochets, make 2. So you're going to go 1 2 1 2 and so on all the way to the top. I'll meet you here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at the top. Up to here, this is the row of half double crochets. I have a total of 34 single crochets. Now in this row of chains, I'm going to make 1 single crochet. So now for this part here, I have 35 single crochets. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work our way down. So beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a single crochet into the next, and so on. Continue, and I'll meet you here at this end. Okay, I'm here at the end of this second row. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now in this third row, we're going to make our buttonholes. I'm only going to make 2 buttonholes here. If you want to make more, you can. I'm just going to do 2. So here we're going to work 24 single crochets. So beginning on top of this last single crochet, make a single crochet into the next, and so on. Continue, and I'll meet you right about here, which is about 24 single crochets, to show you how we're going to make this first buttonhole. Okay, I finished making these 24 single crochets. Now into this next stitch, this is where I'm going to do my buttonhole. So I'm going to chain 1, skip this next single crochet, and into the next make a single crochet. Now the buttons that I'm going to use are these wooden buttons. Now these measure, let's see, these are about 3/4 of an inch, which is about 2 centimeters. So now here we're just going to continue and work these next single crochets. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochets. Again, I have another stitch marker, so chain 1, skip this next single crochet, and into the last single crochet here at the top, make a single crochet. And this is how we made our buttonholes. Now you can do the same thing if you want to add more buttons. Now we're going to work our way around the neckline. So to do this, into this last stitch here where I did this last single crochet, go ahead and make 2 more single crochets. Single crochet into this next row, which is the first row that we did right there. And then here we have our remaining chains from when we did the half double crochet. So into each one of these stitches, we're going to make 1 single crochet. So continue like this around the neckline, and I'll meet you here at this other end, right here, to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at this other end of the collar. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work single crochets along this side. On the other side, we did 35 single crochets, so we're going to do the same thing here. So beginning into this next row of half double crochets right here, I'm going to make 1 half double crochet. Now before I continue here into this last stitch, I did 3 single crochets, and then into the row of half double crochets, I just did 1, and into this row of double crochets, we're going to do 2, and then 1 into the next row, and then 2 into the next row, and so on. For this part here, you're just going to do the exact same thing we did on the other side, and you're going to finish here with 35 single crochets. Then you're going to chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing 3 times. So continue, make these last 3 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this last row here. All I did was just make my last stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through this last loop, and this part here is done. This is what it looks like. Now, I also went ahead and added my buttons. These buttons here measure about 2 millimeters, which is about 3/4 of an inch. Now, let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the neckline right here to the end, right here to this last row, it's measuring about 39 centimeters, which is about 15.25 inches. Around the waist, this part here, it's measuring about 54 centimeters, which is about 21.25 inches. And this part here, from here to the end of the sleeve, right across, it's measuring 17 centimeters, which is about 6 3/4 of an inch. Now, based on these measurements, this little vest is for baby girls between 3 and 4 years old. Now, you can also make it smaller or bigger. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave you some information on how you can make it smaller from a baby between 1 and 2 years old up to 7 to 8 years old. It's just a matter of changing your hook size, so be sure to check that out. I'm going to do the same little vest, except that I'm going to add sleeves so that this becomes a nice little jacket or little sweater, so stay tuned for that tutorial. I think I can easily transform this little vest into a little jacket, so stay tuned. Okay, so this has been today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.